Moving on, a downtown wheelchair lift designed to make folks' lives easier is apparently doing just the opposite. That lift is located downtown between Ben & Jerry's and East Bistro. When one family went to use it, it took them nearly a half hour of jumping through hoops to get it to work. As Natalie tells us, that family is taking steps to make sure the same thing does not happen to others. Natalie.
Dave, Brandy Myers says a few weeks ago her 6-year-old son Tyler fell while skateboarding and he broke his leg. He'll be in a wheelchair for at least 12 weeks. Now, it wasn't until Brandy's family was faced with its own accessibility issues that they understood how difficult it is for the wheelchair-bound to get around. So when they went to get ice cream last weekend and encountered obstacles, Brandy was not going down without a fight.
Really, when your child is in that wheelchair, it becomes a lot more than just ice cream, you know. And I'm not going to look at him and say, you can't have that.
And so eventually Tyler got his ice cream, but he probably wouldn't have without his mother's persistence.
We got into the wheelchair lift and I pushed the button and it would not operate.
Brandy noticed the lift needed a key. Not wanting to leave her son alone, she called Ben & Jerry's from outside to no avail. So she went inside.
My husband was there with me, you know, by that time, luckily, because, you know, if you were in a wheelchair by yourself or didn't have assistance, or if it was just, you know, a child and a mother, then obviously you're not going to leave your child on the sidewalk, you know, while you have to go in and get assistance.
But once inside, Ben & Jerry's employees told Brandy she'd have to get a key from next door at Easy Bistro. Finally, a key. They made it up the lift, only to run into another roadblock. The vestibule door was locked. After pounding on the door, making another phone call, and finally just hopping over the patio to go open it herself, ice cream. But Brandy says she couldn't thoroughly enjoy it with what she just went through.
You know, while we sat there and we had our ice cream, many thoughts came to my mind. You know, I'm very lucky in the fact that my son right now is only temporarily wheelchair bound and needs the wheelchair for the use of mobility for 12 weeks. But the more that I sat there and thought about other children and adults that depend on wheelchair for mobilities to enjoy the lifestyles that, you know, everyday citizens have, there were many safety concerns that, you know, I felt needed to be addressed.
So Brandy did some digging into researching city and state codes and laws. She's made dozens of phone calls to fire marshals, business managers, and elevator inspectors. When we tried out the lift days later, nope, not working. But it seems Brandy's efforts weren't totally in vain. This time, Ben & Jerry's had a key readily available. But you have one?
I do, yeah.
Okay. So you guys have one now and so does Easy?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. We also found that the lift is now operable from the top to the bottom, meaning you could escape in case of an emergency. Now, the lift is not violating any city codes, but the issue still remains that it is not operable if you're by yourself. According to those familiar with the Americans with Disabilities Act, this is a compliance issue when it comes to reasonable accessibility. Along with Brandy, we ourselves have made multiple phone calls and will keep you updated as this issue is resolved.